Okay, so here's some of our hitting stuff with the high school softball team that we focus on. First and foremost, when you're designing practice plans, have your goal in mind offensively. Don't just have a hitting practice just to hit. It's good to hit, it's good to feel good about it, but having a goal and one thing. And we try to get our girls to focus on just that one thing. So today we're going to be hitting, we're going to be working, the girls will be working while we're showing the drill. So does anybody have that one thing that they're working on today?
Bat speed.
What is it?
Bat speed.
Bat speed, so that's her one focus. She's not focused on anything else the rest of the day. And I know you want to fix everything, or if you see something that's bad, like a kid's pulling their head or they're stepping out, you want to fix it. But focus on that one thing. Because if you add too much, you're going to overload it. All right? And I'm one of those guys that just wants to fix everything in one day. But it's one thing that I've learned. Second thing, with that goal, you kind of want to work your way from bottom up. So that's another thing that we've learned is start with your feet and start with your stance. And something that we talk about is we don't really care what your stance looks like, as long as it doesn't get in the way of getting to attack position or a launch position or ready position. There's lots of different words for it. We call it attack because we want that word to be ingrained in our hitters. We want them to attack the ball. We want them to knock it out. We want one swing in an at-bat that is just their A swing, and they work hard. Not to say that our two-strike approach doesn't change. When we're at two strikes, we want to compete, we want to battle, and we want to put the ball in play hard if we can, and we have a checklist and we work on that, but we can talk about that later. So go ahead. I have you four. I have Jansen Kimball, Emma McGinnis, Becca Pastorius, and Shaylee Ebb here in the back. If you guys wouldn't mind just getting in your stance right now. Show, and remember your pitcher is that way. Your pitcher is that way, so go ahead and show the side of your stance. So you have some commonalities with our girls. Hands up in attack position. We've had girls with their hands above their head. We've had girls that have their hands lower. That's fine. The knocking knuckles thing is a good trick for some girls. We don't really care. So because your hands will rotate as you hit, and if it doesn't, then you can fix it. But we don't really worry about that. Knees are bent for the most part. We're not straight-legged. Some people are taller. Some people have their weight shifted back early. Some people are more in the front of their foot. It doesn't matter what your stance is. So when we talk about hitting, we talk about two phases in particular, two big checkpoints. The first one is attack position, and that is with our weight shift back 50-50 and our bat kind of above our head, angled towards the catcher. The eye of the bat is angled towards our catcher. We're ready. We're in attack position. Our hands are in that stretch from our foot to our hands. We're in that rubber band effect. That's a good attack position. So Jansen's demonstrating that now. And then our second checkpoint is contact point, and that is exactly where you hit the ball. So go ahead and get to contact point for me. And in this contact point, we are somewhat straight-legged. If we're stopped and frozen, we're 50-50, but in a real swing, you're not going to be. Our arms are bent. Our bat barrel is below our hands and tipped, tilted. You can go, and behind our hands. Our barrel is going to be behind our hands. That is an attack position. So those are the two big checkpoints. What we focus on is getting our girls there, working on getting there properly, getting there the most efficient. You can relax. Thank you. So the movement section from stance to attack position is something we talk about, we focus on, we drill, and then from the attack position, the movement to contact point is something that we talk about and drill. So now we're going to go into showing these drills, and there's 1,000 different variations and 1,000 different things you can do. But the first one is we just want to get loosened up and ready. And the girls already did it. They're just on their tee. They're just working. One big checklist or checkpoint for that. And we're going to go ahead and move the film so we can get. Is that somebody's water bottle? All right. Big checkpoint for that. Off of our tee, we like to use a plate. We like to make sure we have a plate, and we put the tee kind of in front of the plate, and we're working off here. So we're in. When we make contact, our arms are bent. So that's a big thing for a lot of people, is they want to make sure they're here when they hit, and already extended. It promotes casting, all that. So we need to make sure that we're close to it and we work on getting to a good contact point. We're not focused on inside out, we're just focused on feeling good, getting a rhythm, all that stuff with our first drill. The very basic drill that we're going to work on now, volunteer please. Anybody. You're all going to do it, so you guys can work on that tee. The first one we're going to do is stance, trigger, swing, or 1, 2, 3 for stance, attack, position, swing. It doesn't matter. So we're going to go off of a counter. So we're going to go stance. And Emma, can you back out a little bit? All right, ready? Stance, trigger, swing. We like to use the word trigger because we're not striding, and we're not just striding. We're working on our weight shift too. So it's weight shift and stride. So we're working on back and forward when we say trigger. If we're working on just the back move, we'll say stance, weight shift back, attack, or swing, or whatever. Okay? Or you can vary it up. So you can go stance, weight shift back, stride, swing. You can also go to the second checkpoint. Stance, trigger, contact point, swing. You can go stance, trigger, contact point, extension, swing. Jansen went to extension a little bit there. But that's a good thing. That's a natural thing. So you can vary that drill up as much as you want. You can also work inside outside off of this, where you move your tee, or away from them, or inside, or you just move your player's body. That's a nice trick that I learned from West Liberty and Julie Tinney like 10 years ago. She blew my mind. I was like, you can do that, and it's so simple and it's so easy. All you do, if you want an inside pitch, is you turn your body towards it. So turn this way. Oh, you went outside. Turn this way. You're still hitting an inside pitch. Go ahead, just stance, swing. You're working on turning on it. Or if you want that outside pitch, she doesn't really have to move. Now it's on her back hip. It's away from her. Stance, swing. And she's working on that back. That away pitch, driving it to right field. So that's a nice little easy trick off of that. Bye ball. All right, so earlier we said that we work bottom up. Sometimes we want to take the bottom out of the equation. So we'll go back leg on, back knee on a pad, front leg out. And we gave Becca 2 variations here. She has short back, and she's taking away her bottom half. So we're working on hands here, hands and hips. You can start with your hips not loaded. You can start with them turned. Either way, there's lots of different variations for this. So basically, we're focused on bat path here. So this is a good drill if your girls are casting, things in that nature. You can do 2 hands on it. So go ahead, 2 hands swing. Ready, stand, swing. Good. Go top hand, stance, swing. Good. And you can do bottom hand. I really don't like the bottom hand one as much as the top hand because it does promote that flying out still. With your top hand, you're really focused on pushing and get your hands go straight to the barrel. You can do the short bat and the one-handed drills on your feet too, so go ahead and stand up. Stance, swing, good. And you can vary it the same way we did earlier, inside, outside, all that stuff. Go ahead, top hand, stance, swing, good. So that's a big one for us. We like to use that as well. I know that's a favorite for a lot of people. All right. So next drill, next person. All right, so we have Emma. She has a PVC pipe already taking it up, so that's one way for this drill. So we have the BOSU ball as well. So this is good for hip rotation. That's what we use this for. You can also use it for dry swings, wrists, and bat speed there. The BOSU ball, we use that for weight shift and really driving out forward towards our target. So we're going to throw 2 at her at once. You can do them individually. You You can mix these as much as you want to. So the first one, she's gonna cup. She's gonna cradle it. It's gonna be here. You want, for these drills, you want the tee a little bit further back because she won't be able to extend out in front of herself. And we're just gonna go stance, swing. So go ahead, stance, swing. All right, go ahead again. Get that tilt. You're wanting to go down to it. Come up with your top shoulder. Go up. Yes, there you go. And you don't have to go fast. You can go slow. This is good. This is great for what Emma is working on right now anyway, because she's trying to get rid of her carousel swing and really get her Ferris wheel swing going in there. All right, one more. Once you really focus on getting this front shoulder, front elbow up when you go. All right, ready? Go. There you go. All right, and the next one, go ahead and hook it behind your back. And you want more on that side. You don't want to hold it, just hook it with your forearms. There you go. Same. We won't use a Bosu ball for this one, just so you can get it. Go ahead and stance. And it's the same concept. You're still going to want to get that tilt. So this hip needs to go down. Yep, ready, stance, go. All right. You can go through the various parts of stance, trigger, stride. You know, stance, stance, trigger, swing. Good. And one more. Stance, trigger, okay, or stance, swing. So there's that. We have various different versions of PVC pipe. It's a great training tool. You can do speed swings, you can hit smaller balls with them, and you can do the heavier swings with that, speed swings as well as many swings you can get. All right, so our next one, Shaylee. I just throw different things at you. All right, so like along the lines of PVC pipe, you can use a yardstick or a broom handle to hit small balls. This is a nice little trick for girls who have trouble taking their hands to the ball, or they're dropping their hands, things like that. So we use a weight. She holds it. She gets in her stance. Go ahead, like you would with the tee. And there's no ball for this. We're just going stance, trigger, and then we're going contact point, go. And she's just trying to take her hands through that arm slot, that hand slot, trying to get that elbow to come through and get to a good attack position. You can vary the weights. One more, stance, trigger, go. All right. You can also use a band, and if it has the loops, you're going to stick your foot in this one, your front foot. And you're going to take this, you're going to get your stance, and there shouldn't be a lot of resistance. There might be some, but you don't want a ton of resistance here. So you're going to get your stance, you're going to go stance, trigger, and then you should feel the resistance off of your stride. Something that we want to focus in on our stride is we don't want a straight leg when we stride. We want to have a bent front knee, because then our weight will work properly. We won't dip when we stride. That's where a lot of the dropping our back shoulder comes from. You have to drop your back shoulder to swing. It's just a lot of people do it when they stride because they're so focused on getting that stiff front leg that they do it when they step. So we're seeing like a pandemic of that, an epidemic of that in softball with our girls coming up. They're striding with a stiff front leg, and that's stopping their forward momentum and really taking away the power that they could be achieving. So one more time, stance, grave stance, trigger, and you see the band straighten up. All right, one more, Shaylee. Use a medicine ball a lot, okay? And we're gonna start with it at our back hip. We use this for that drive forward and that hip turn. So what we're gonna wanna do is kind of throw it like we're rocking a baby forward off of our swing. So we're gonna go stance, trigger, keep it on your hip, swing. And we're just throwing it back and forth. You can do this with various weights, stance, trigger, swing. And it's that simple. All right, Jansen, you move back up. So we're going back off the tee, back in the same kind of idea. Go ahead and grab your bat or whatever. With the hip turn. So a hip turn is a big key for us. We have a lot of girls who don't want to use their hips, they want to use their hands. So we're going to start with the tee beside us. Okay, you're going to face that way. Maybe a little bit in front. And what we're going to do is we're going to load, and when she loads, she's going to turn, and she can really see it in her back hip. That bend in that leg, that's where she should be naturally in her swing anyway. And she's going to attack out of that. Go. And when she attacks, this is also a really, really good drill for the Ferris wheel. It's really hard to carousel her bat straight across. She's going to try to attack up, down and up. Ready? Go. And one more. Ready? Go. Good. Now in the next one, go ahead and show it. Yep. She's going to rock back, and then she's going to go. She's working on driving not into this front leg now. She's working on driving into the straight bat path, straight in back to the pitcher. Because if she doesn't, she's going to create a bad habit of falling out of her swing. Ready? Go. Now the next one, she's going to start with her feet there. She's going to load, and then she's going to stride forward and attack straight again. And we need to change the ball angle to where it's where her foot would land. Ready? Load. Attack your foot. And again, you can chop that down and break it down. Any more drills I'm forgetting? You have high tees, you have low tees, short bats. We use a fat grip. We use all these different tools. Camwood bat is awesome. That's an amazing drill. Just stay there 1 second. I got one more drill that people don't use properly, and they should. Balls, tennis balls, golf balls, wiffle balls. Girls use all kinds of different training balls with us. Don't be afraid to have them hit popcorn seeds, whatever. So the last drill I want to show is the tennis ball drill. It's great for change-ups. It's more of a higher level drill. Again, you can feed it from in front. You can feed it from an angle. You can feed it from behind. It doesn't really matter. But people want to do this drill incorrectly. So what we want to do is we're going off of the throw with our trigger. And you'll see a lot of our girls sometimes think that nobody's paying attention. And they'll load right off the bounce. So it'll look more like this. And this is not what we want. So go ahead and just go off. Sorry. They'll load off the bounce instead of off the throw. What we want to do is we want to load and stay in attack position for as long as we can. So we want to load for a fastball and adjust for a changeup or adjust for off speed. So we're here, load with my throw, and we want to sit. And sometimes a good analogy or cue for them is to think that we want to sink in this back knee. So we kind of want to sink straight down. So if we load up and we get that changeup, we're loaded and we get that changeup, we want to sink, and then attack out. And we're really trying to focus on hitting it oppo, hit it to right field. So one more, ready? Ooh, bad pitch. A lot of bounce. One more. Good. So that's a drill that we really like using for our changeup and battling in counts. Any other drills that you guys like to use or anything we can show? Okay. All right. Good job.